Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. All right, so a quick, another quick thought I want to share. Just this week, a church brother I used to minister with, go different churches and minister in song with, passed. He died in the Kingston Public Hospital, and, and that's Thursday gone. Today is Saturday, and since his passing, first of all, whenever someone dies, especially someone close to me, like my grandmother passed a few months ago. Whenever someone dies, it reminds me of my mortality. It reminds me that one day my number will call and might it will be my time. But it also makes me more aware of the reality of the life that we're living today, and why we recognize that people need something called hope. So, without going too much ahead of myself, when that brother passed, you know, it caused me to realize that life is very fragile. It's life is fragile. Life life is short because, in my estimation, he has not yet lived much life. Only 28 years old, right? And he passed in illness. And I was saying some things, and because my wife and I have been having discussions about this incident, about this event, his passing, and we have different and similar opinions about it. And one of the things I was saying was that is why I can't look for hell, because to me, earth can be hell. When I think of the sicknesses and the disease, the pain and the suffering, the hardship, the struggles, the wars, the crimes, the violence, the deaths, I say that we are already in hell. Earth is hell. That's my view. From 2017, 18, thereabout, I've come to this realization that this place called Earth can be seen as both heaven and hell. For to me, these two concepts are a state of mind. We are living on a planet we call Earth that is so sophisticated in many ways, shape and form, that one can walk away from this earth being drained or being fulfilled. So what I am getting at here is that I cannot be looking in my mind for a hell after this, because I'm imagining that persons who are living here now, as I'm speaking to you through this medium, I'm imagining that there are persons who are having worse life experiences and encounters all over the world, that to them it's hell, hunger, starvation, as I said earlier, serious sicknesses and suffering, only to hear that no, this wasn't the real deal. The real deal is hellfire, where you burn eternally. So imagine living a life of hell here because of where you were born. You're born in a country where there's constant wars and bloodshed, and your family can't sleep in peace at night. You're not even sure if you're going to make it through the night. You hear your brother die next door. You hear your sister die down the road in war and upwards of all type of different things, only to hear that, oh, you didn't accept Jesus, or whichever God you didn't accept. Oh, no. Tormentation is next, brother. Tormentation is next, sister. How can I'm sorry if I'm being overly passionate now, but how can I accept that worldview? You might argue, who are you, Nathaniel? You're not God. God chooses who he makes live and who he makes die. Okay. I will not accept this worldview that there is this physical place called hell or this physical place called heaven. What I will accept is that because of our ignorance, because of our lack of consciousness as it relates to certain higher principles that we were not taught in schools, because of these lack of information, we live as though there is no hope. And what I mean by hope here is that the hope that exists, or they say exists in a savior, is not the hope I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hope of living a better life here on earth. Because this is the only place I am guaranteed that I am now in, and the only place that I can say that I can actually have an existence. This is the only place I'm sure of. The now. Not the past, not the future, but the now. You have to understand where I'm coming from, people. Whoever it is that actually listen to what I say. Right? This idea that, oh, you don't have to worry about this life. No, be of the world, be in the world but not of the world, because it's gonna be heaven and there's gonna be milk and honey and there's gonna be this and that. To me, that's a cop out. Although when persons die, they get some form of comfort because they believe that there's a better place called heaven. I call those things, unfortunately, some persons might disagree with me, those things are called to me sweet lies. Because we don't have any evidence or facts. We are led to believe and to accept something based on faith and to hope in some imaginary future that may never truly exist, as opposed to try to fix what is existing now. And so when that brother passed, I said I am not looking forward to a heaven or a hell. I'm looking forward to a day when we will learn to live good on earth, to learn to live healthy lives on earth. Let's say that there's a higher power. I believe there's a higher power. So let's say there's a higher power, stripped away from all the religions of the world. I believe that higher power placed us here to live, to learn, to grow, to experience, and through all of those things, we will become better human beings, better. I call it divine sparks of that higher power. And yes, it sounds like a different quote-unquote religion, but it really isn't, because it's not structured in the way they have these dogmas given to us. What I'm saying here is that I believe that if there's a higher power, our divine duty given to us is to live, to learn, and to grow, and to experience, and to become a better version of ourselves. And we can do that on an individual level and on a collective level. It would be a beauty if collectively we all learn to vibrate, I call it vibrate, at the same frequency, a higher frequency, where we no longer eat the things that make us sick, we no longer do the practices that make us ill, we no longer do the actions that cause us pain and suffering and death and bloodshed. All of these things will be a thing of the past. This sounds like a utopian idea. No, it sounds far-fetched, I know. However, what I'm really saying to my listeners is that instead of looking for a promised world, why not fix the world that exists today? Why not let us fix the world that exists today? I would want, in all sincerity, I would want to look for coming on some savior, but I realize that's not going to happen. I cannot think, and I can't fathom that being the case based on history. Based on history, I can't fathom there be a time where some cloud going burst and somebody come to deliver us. And even if that does happen, whoever comes from the cloud, I will also have to question, because that person would be a foreigner. That person would be an alien. No pun intended. Therefore, I would still have to question that person. Is that person's intention really for me? How do I know that the person who's coming is really for me? How do I know that it's not another deception? So you have to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we are human beings. And on a higher level, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. But as human beings, we have to learn to fix the issues that we have. Because that passing reminds me that me are mortal. That passing reminds me that me got dead one day. But it don't make me feel fearful. It makes me more conscious and humble to the fact that yes, my time will come one day. But the hope that people look for in a savior is, for me, a sweet lie, because the cycle continues, generation continues in the church. I've said this before many times. They keep on doing the circular thing where they say, yes, Jesus is coming soon, Jesus is coming soon. From the baby gone in the church, from the baby in the kindergarten until she in a rocking chair. Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. False hope is what I call it. And I know this is going to hit hard for Christians, and I don't want Christians to feel like I'm attacking Christians, but again, I speak in this manner simply because I'm surrounded by Christians. If I was surrounded by Muslims or any other denomination that I am affiliated with in some way through either family or friends or very close companions, I would be speaking in that manner. So please don't think, oh, I'm bashing Christians. I'm just speaking about the reality that exists from my life. So what I wanted to get away from this video is that death is certain, but living as there is a promised hope is uncertain. And if we continue to live that way, we will never truly fix the problems that we can fix while we are alive. For example, whatever caused that illness that caused that brother to die, if we don't have scientists continue trying, because a lot of diseases, you'll agree to this, a lot of diseases have become less deadly because of science. A lot of things that people were thinking back in the days as demon possession, like epilepsy, have been proven to be sickness. And science has helped us to evolve our way of thinking in such a way that the things that people get sick with now today are not as deadly as they were many years ago. There are still things that science is trying to find the solution or the problem, solve the problems of. And what I'm saying is that I want to see a day where cancer will be no more, because we have the right type of treatments or medicines to deal with those situations. And a part of me also don't trust the scientific community, a part of the scientific community, because they themselves have an agenda. But I can't solve all the problems of the world. What I can do is speak on them, the issues that I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is that there are many different angles to look at this thing from, but looking for a promise in the sky for me is not one of them, not anymore at least. And so what I'm getting at is, please, if you don't understand anything else that I've said in this video, because sometimes when I express myself, there are so many thoughts flowing in, I'm having a difficulty trying to bring them out the way I want to. But what I wanted to get from this video is that death, yes, is certain, but a promise in a coming Messiah or Savior is not certain. And even if that person or whoever that person is come, we cannot be sure that person really truly has our interests at heart, because we have never seen that person. We have never truly interacted, only through scriptures, only through believing, only through prayers, and only through supplications and all of these things have believers encountered who that person is, but never in a physical realm. The physical realm is as important as the spiritual realm. People sometimes play down on the physical realm in hopes that the spiritual realm is the answer. And what I'm saying, that I think we need to find the balance where these two things are involved. Anyway, that's what I had to say today. And as always, let knowledge be your path to true freedom. Peace.